Okay, guys, here we are. We got my friend James's beautiful Les Paul Jr. here on the bench. And what we've done, and we've taken a piece of acoustic guitar bridge and we've cut a piece out of it. And that piece, this is on walnut. This is really nice. And that piece is going to go underneath this Tusq Nut. This Tusq Nut is supposedly for this guitar, but it is very low. It would be way too low. It would be fretting out. And this has some beautiful rounded ball end stainless steel frets in it. So what we want to do is we're going to take a piece of this walnut, just a tiny shim we made, and we're going to make sure it's nice and level, and we're going to put it under the nut. And we're going to glue it in with some tight bond glue so that if by chance James ever wants to put this back to original, we can, just by heating up the glue and getting it out of there. So what we're doing is we're sanding this shim. We're sanding it to make it very thin, because it only needs to be about 0.4 to 0.5 millimeters thick. It's very tiny. And right now it's about a millimeter thick. So we need to get rid of half of it. So what I'm doing is filing down my fingernails here. But we got a piece of 80 grit sandpaper on a sanding block, and we're just working it. We're just working it so it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And you can see it's actually working because we got all the dust coming up. You can see the piece is getting very shiny and very smooth. And that's going to look gorgeous. Instead of putting like something underneath there that's not, like a piece of acoustic bridge saddle, or just a piece of a matchbook cover. This is wood. It's going to translate the vibrations of the guitar through it. Just like the rest of the guitar is made of wood, this is made of wood as well. So we're not diminishing any of the vibrations that are going to be coming from the strings. Very, very good. Old luthier told me to do that this way. And I'm doing it. It's just, I'm having trouble holding on to it because it is so thin. I might do it this way. Let's do it this way for now. We'll do half and half. That's definitely working. Yeah, that's definitely working. Look at all the shavings we're making. A lot of walnut dust. But it's definitely working. Trouble is, we got to make sure we're getting it the right amount. We got to make sure we're getting it even. Now once the nut is installed, we are going to go through it with the files and make sure the depths are perfect. Because this guitar is way too nice to be half-assing it. This thing is mint. I like it. And then we're going to reinstall the pickguard and put the black bridge on it, because he's changed out the tuners to black tuners, and and put in a Wilkinson P90, which are quite hot from what I understand. So this thing's gonna scream. And we gotta get here in the center a little more. We're getting the edges very nicely, but not the center. There we go. That is looking sweet. Now we will carve it a little better to get it. But we are way up there now. We are way up there. So this has got a lot of sanding to go. And maybe we'll try to do a little carving. We'll be back. Okay, guys, we're still at it here, putting the nut in. I've installed the shim. The shim looks really nice. I will give you a flyover here in a minute. And the nut shim is gorgeous. Looks like it wasn't even there. So I've taken to sanding the nut instead of the shim, because at least I got something to grab onto. And the nut came from the factory cut, and it was a little off. So what we're doing is making it fit the guitar. So we're putting a little bit of an angle in the bottom so that everything lays flat and glues flat, and then we'll carve these slots out with I have a set of Tusq Nut nut files. They work very nicely. You can get them through Amazon, and they work really nice. I use them on nuts, and I use them for bridge saddles. Like if you have a burr in your bridge saddle, your string will be breaking all the time. But all we're doing is fitting this. It's fitting very nicely. I think it's pretty good. That's looking really nice. Let me get you a flyover. Here we go. The shim has been installed. The shim looks really nice. I curved the edges around a little bit with the fret dress file. But then we will put the nut in, and the nut will go like so. And we'll round the top off a little bit once we get the strings in there and get the slots cut. But it's looking very nice. And yeah, there we have it. That's the way it's going to be. We'll get her all glued up, and we'll put you back in the holder and show you how we're doing the slots. All right, here we are. We got the nut glued in. We got the sides all contoured very nicely. The top we haven't touched yet, but the front board is really dry and really scratchy. So we're putting a little of the beautiful Howard's Feeding Wax onto it, and this will soak in. Once I get it rubbed in, it'll soak in and really condition this board. This stuff is amazing. I learned about this stuff from Seth Howard from Gorilla Guitar Repair, and I started using it. I got it at Walmart. I think it's like $10 a bottle. And that bottle will last you months and months and months, even if you're doing a few guitars a week like I am. So this is going to soak in. What we got going on is we got our Music Nomad fret files here, or nut files, and we're going to start carving out the nut. So we need to assemble the guitar a little bit. We need to put the bridge on. We need to put some strings on it, and then we will do the nut. And then once the strings are the proper height, I'm going to take some 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to take this down, and then I'll polish it up a little bit. But we don't want it this high. But the slots are pretty close, so I didn't want to take it down any further. So that's where we're gonna be at here. In here is our bridge. We've got a Wilkinson semi-adjustable stop bar. These were made specifically for the PRS SEs, but they work really good on the Les Paul Juniors as well. So there's our stop bar. We're going to get some strings on it. I forgot what gauge he wants on. So I'll come back when the strings are on. Okay, we're all strung up. We're getting into the nut slots. And these nut slots are extremely high right now because this nut was not properly fitted to the guitar. It's definitely not. I don't know whether it is a mismatch between USA spec and metric, but the nut slots are definitely not right. So what we're doing is we're filing them down to be about, well, we're still way high. We're about 1 millimeter. We want about half of that. And then we're going to take some off of the top of this nut. Which side have I got here? Oh, wow. Well, that's the trouble when you have bad eyes. And when we're filing the slot, we want to definitely go at a little bit of an angle. We want to go to a downward angle. So we'll mimic the breakaway of the string to the headstock. Yeah, we're good right there. And that's what we're gonna do. We're going through all of these, and I will get back to you when we're all done, and we'll show you about shaping the top of the nut. Okay, let me turn off early guitar repair here. We're going to loosen these strings up, and we got all the nut slots pretty well where we want them to be. And now we're not taking these strings off. I mean, this bridge was, what a finicky bitch that bridge is. But we're not taking the strings off. We're just going to get them out of the way. We're going to get them out of the way. Come on. There we go. We're going to get them out of the way. And we're going to get this nice cloth here and some tape. We're going to mark this nut off. We're going to put some tape on this so we're not hitting the guitar at all. And we're going to get the top of this to a decent state of affairs. I think we're going to use a little more Howards on this. It's soaked right in. It really. Here's what we're doing. We're just getting the top of this, And we're buffing it off. We're getting the sheen off of it, getting the excess height away from the slots. Do a little round over. A little round over. We're putting a little angle in it because we want that nut to be angled back like the headstock is. Starting to look pretty good. This is just a cosmetic touch. What we want is the nut not to look over proportional to the rest of the guitar. Just like when we were doing the splines, we did the splines and then we had to carve away what did not look like guitar. And I'm not completely happy with that job yet, but it is holding. We have strung it up. We've got it sitting there. We've banged on it a little bit, do a little playing. And it's not like coming out of tune. It's not slipping. It's not moving. So I think we're holding. I think we're going to have a good video for next week. This week is going to be the finishing of the hand rubbed finish on the spalted pawl. And the tongue oil and all that. That's what we're doing this week. And then next week will be part 2 of the Can We Fix the Chibi series. And then I believe we're going to do this one the following week. So this might be, this video is probably going out about near the late side of April. The first week of April is the Balded Paw. Second week is the Can We Fix the Chibi, and the third week of April will be this one. I'm matting this finish down pretty good with this pretty heavy aggressive grit sandpaper. But then we'll polish it up. We'll put a 600 and a 1500 on this, and we'll polish it up really nicely. But this is what we're doing. We're getting the head of the nut in proportion. And it's looking very nice. It's looking very nice. Yeah. Yeah, a little more. A little more. You guys don't need to sit here and watch me do this. I will come back when we're ready. All right, here we are. What we're doing is setting the intonation on the wrap tail bridge. There's 2 grub screws at either end of these posts. And you can, since this was way sharp all the way across the board, this whole bridge needs to come back. So I've been tightening these. And we've got some preliminary tightness in it. But we need to go a lot more. And then this bridge you can compensate your G, like for heavier strings, you can compensate your B and your G. So we'll be going over that too. But for right now, we're just going in the general direction of getting these strings to be a little bit flatter by lengthening them, taking them away from the neck. And this will let the guitar play in tune. But this is how you intonate a rap tail. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't intonate your guitar. You can get it pretty damn close with this. And a lightning bar bridge is even better than what they used to have back in the early 50s with Gibson. All they had was basically a stop tail piece, turned at an angle, and they had no notches in them, no faux saddles like a lightning bar bridge has on it. That's why it's called a lightning bar. It has like faux saddles on it. It has the staircase. Well, here we go. We're gonna see where we're at. As soon as we get the E's, the high and the low, high and low E, as soon as we get those in close proximity, we're about 5 cents out. We still got to go a little more. As soon as we get them close proximity, then we'll fine tune it, get the 2 E's in. We'll get the 2 E's in, and then we'll work on the B and G compensator over here. There's got to be a better way to do this. I got some bits I might change over to a bit and a screwdriver handle, because this is monotonous. And I'm not going to sit here and film every bit of this, because it is boring watching me do this. So we're going to let you guys go, and we'll come back to this when we have the E's in place, and I'll show you how to do this compensated sliding B and G on this fancy-dancy Wilkinson bridge. I think we're going to be close here anyway. Let me just hang with me here for a minute. One more on here, and we'll try it again. All right. Perfecto. Perfecto on the low E.
Mom, we need your help.
Oh, I hate these ads. All right. Just getting through the ads on my YouTube over here. I don't want you guys listening to ads. I'm not doing ads on YouTube. I got Studio ASO on, which is a non-talking guitar repair channel. And we're watching guitar repairs while we're doing guitar repairs. We're still way sharp on the low E side, or the high E side. High E! Yeah, so we need more. We need more. Let's get rid of some of that. We'll do a little more here. A couple more turns of these grub screws. Or this grub screw. I'm not touching the other one. The other one's perfect. Because if that's perfect, this is going to be damn in close, and this will be damn close. And then as far as this one goes, and then we can adjust these with the compensator. But we need a little more play here. A little more play. One more. Let's try it. A hair more. Just a hair more. I'm not even gonna loosen the string. All right, we'll loosen the string. We need to go about 3 more turns. We're dead on the low E. We don't have to touch that side anymore. But this side we need more turns. More grubbiness from the grub screws. One more. I'm going to go one more. All right, let's try that. Perfecto. Now, let's see where we're at here. Very close. A little sharp. So let's get them loose. I think we need that one. That's the one. Oh, it's not. Okay, let's find the right wrench. Let's get the it's a Korean Wilkinson. So we need metric set, I believe. Metric set. Let's try that one. That's the one. Let's get the string tension off of that so we can move it back. Let's try that. We move the compensator back. We've got her tightened up. Come on, get out of there. All right, let's just tune her up. I think we're all good. I think we're intonated. Let's give her a tune. All right, I think that's it. Let's check our action. I have it preliminarily set, but I want to see where we're at. Yeah. Boy, that is nice. That is nice. Now we had to file this nut down so it was the right width, and we had to mill it down so it was the right height, and because we put a shim in, it was too low, so we had to put a shim in, and it was easier to trim nut than it was to trim the nut than it was to trim the shim. So I trimmed the nut down, and then we cut the slots the right depth, and then we went over the top with 80 grit sandpaper, and then 600 and then 1500 to polish it all out. We gave the fretboard a beautiful dose of Howard's Feed and Wax, and James already had the electronics wired up, so all we did was put the bridge in, intonate it, do the nut, and address the dryness of the fretboard. And now we did the setup. We're on intonated, and the action is wonderful. I would say it's about 1.3 or 1.5. Yeah, this sounds. Oh, man, this is one gorgeous Les Paul Jr. James is going to be ripping on this with his band side over. This is awesome. I will come back and we'll do a conclusion video. All right, here we go. We've got the beautiful red Les Paul Jr. We just put that nice new nut on. And this thing is pretty freaking sweet. I think this is going to make some pretty cool clean sounds too. I think if you roll this back, we're at about 3 now with the tone knob. Of course, if you go to 0, it's total. This thing sounds freaking awesome. Plays in tune really nice. The action is super low. This Wilkinson bridge, although it's a pain to string up, it's a really decent bridge as far as intonating and getting your rap tail upgraded a little bit. And definitely the Tusq Nut is definitely 1,000% better than the plastic one that was in here. So we're doing really well. That's our Tusq Nut. That Tusq Nut looks really nice. So here we are, Red Jr., going back to its owner today.